Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 14, Question Time with Henry Hilton. Do you want to introduce yourself, guys? Woo!
Sorry, just unfinished touching up your boyfriend.
I like that.
Look, I'll do it all episode.
I'm happy with that.
This is about our 50 millionth fucking restart because of the inappropriate
Henry's
intros
being
we've had
Henry's
into
being
this
inappropriate.
episode.
Henry's being inappropriate.
No, but this is going to be a good one because we've got some good, funny, I don't really know if they're funny, exciting, interesting, behind-the-scenes questions that we are going to ask Henry, and we have some unknown questions that Henry is going to ask us. For context, we should probably clarify that Henry is our client, strength coaching for Alex, nutrition coaching for moi. So do we kick off with the funny question before we let Henry introduce himself?
Yeah, you said introduce ourselves and then no one introduced themselves.
Yeah, no, I realised that.
People know who we are.
People know who we are.
Well, that's what got me, because you said, guys, introduce yourselves. Like, this is Alex, he's not appeared.
No. I'm Hannah, this is Alex.
Fuck, you look so different.
Yeah, it was like, what's it called when they switch bodies in the film? Is it Freaky Friday?
Yeah, that is a film where they do that.
Yeah, it's a Freaky Friday. I'm you, you're me.
It's a
is it called face swap? The thing where they actually put different faces on each other.
Oh, that's Nicolas Cage and... No, is it called Face Off?
Face Off.
And is it Travolta? Yes, Travolta and Nicolas Cage.
I've literally never even heard of this.
They literally operate their film peeled up. It's gross.
Yeah, one of them's a cop, one of them's a criminal, and they want the cop to go into the prison to infiltrate stuff, disguised as that guy because they take his face and go in.
It sounds like such a Nicolas Cage film.
Alas, we digress.
Please!
If you guys have ever been interested in what it's like to be coached or to have coaching, or if you've ever wondered what it's like kickstarting your journey and the what do we say, the ebbs and flows that you experience
babysitter.
I have to, otherwise we would just this recording would never get done.
I'll zip it now.
Yeah, acting like I'm not like that every episode.
Yeah, but now you've got two.
Yeah, it feels like it's worse because there's not.
I need Lucy back here. Lucy needs to come and help me. Okay. Funny opener question. Go on, you can.
Do you want me to? What's the pettiest thing that irrationally annoys you? Who wants to start?
Well, I'd like to say I'm proud of you for managing to read that.
Thank you.
The camera won't pick this up, but that handwriting is abysmal, even by my standards. Well, that's hieroglyphics.
I've got doctor's handwriting.
That's hieroglyphics. He is part Egyptian.
Yeah, there's something in him. There you go.
As long as I can read it, doesn't matter.
Bloodlines coming through. That's why I passed it to you, because I can't read it.
Is that generally why?
No, I could probably figure it out, but you've also told it me several times, so I'm like,
Yes, you should be able to just know it off by heart.
Although I don't have an answer. What's the pettiest thing?
I think the pettiest thing is probably not being able to read Alex's handwriting.
Yeah, I do find that pretty irritating. Yeah.
What's the pettiest thing that irritates?
Irrationally.
Oh, sorry, irrationally annoys you.
Yeah.
Chewing loudly goes through me like. Is
that irrational?
The way I can react sometimes.
It depends how loudly.
Well, because like people say like chewing loudly is really annoying, but I actually have never come across a person who's chewed so loudly it's made me want to throw them through a wall.
Maybe my brother does it to really piss me off, but like he does it quite often, and I think he probably does do it to annoy me. But
unless he's chomping like an alpaca, like, actually be though.
Insert graphics of an alpaca chomping.
Your brother is a lovely man.
Have you met my brother? Oh yeah, you did.
I have met your brother.
He's really socially awkward.
Suppose that. There we go.
It's like, have you met him?
We've been introduced.
Terrible.
Oh, what's the pettiest thing? What is the pettiest thing?
I have a strong opinion on it that I think that, and this is not going to be new to anyone who listens, but if I hold the door open and someone doesn't thank me, I do genuinely want to hit them.
No, I get
this happened literally 3 times today in the office. How every fibre of my being goes into just not abusing them.
That's so fair. That is so fair, because the door would do it anyway. So you let it go and smash them in the face.
The door would do it anyway.
Oh,
right. Hold itself open.
No.
After you, sir.
No.
I know you told me about when I first said this. You said about pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, that annoys you. That irrationally annoys you.
No, but I think you said...
We were talking about controversial opinions.
Oh, was that the controversial opinion one?
Wait, pineapple does belong on a pizza, though?
No, it doesn't.
Thank you, Henry.
No, it does not.
Thank you, Henry.
You don't eat any vegetables or fruit, though? You can't just say no to all of that.
Yeah, I do.
Name one.
Don't say bananas, because that's the only one you eat.
Cocoa bean.
Go. Baked beans don't count.
Yeah, beans. Bananas.
Yeah,
all of the beans. Beans, bananas, Bapples. I was going to say one and I couldn't then because that would sound horrendous.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm on about?
Yes.
What's the pettiest thing that irrationally annoys you? No, is that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to answer?
What's your answer?
Well, you
Yeah.
do need to answer.
Can I just say people in general?
No.
Okay. What's something that irrational?
Previous to this, Alex said he didn't need to prep anything. He was happy to just go off the cuff.
No, because I've got loads
He
of things
doesn't
that annoy
like
me,
it.
but I know when this is more like gym related one when people don't put their stuff back. Like I generally want to.
Oh, I thought we were just talking about life.
Well, I was saying.
took it that way.
Oh no, I was saying life, but I can think of one that annoys me. Like I want to give you a life one, but a gym one is like when you can see someone and they've like just finished and they don't put it back. I generally want to take that 20-kilo plate off and frisbee at the fucking head. It just.
You know what? I don't even actually mind when people leave weights on. It's when people leave like an odd-sided weight on. So like if somebody, the other day, somebody left a single 20 plate on one end of the bench and nothing on the other end. And that annoyed me far more than it would have done if they just had two 20s.
Yeah, no, I get that. Because that is not just lazy, it's unsafe.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to get hit by that barbell, but at least if it's got like equal, it's balanced. It's not going anywhere unless it's got a mind of its own.
And at least then it's not like tweaking some undiagnosed OCD in you that just like, I think you put it for...
I've just thought of my life one.
I'm going to guess, is it about the plate? Oh, no, you said life's not gym. I was going to say when the plates are like the wrong...
Yeah, it's supermarket trolley etiquette.
Oh, okay.
Or just like people, like they don't understand that, like, when you're walking down an aisle and some fucker just like plonks themselves in the middle of it, and it's like because it's like a couple or whatever, one's pushing the trolley, one's next to you can't get past.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just want my bread. Fucking move.
Of all the things you made, another thing beginning with B.
You know what?
Be anything that's not got B in it.
Yes. And then after the bread, I go get my bilk.
It could have been anything. Literally anything.
Yeah, I know.
Pizza.
Slow walkers, that is another one for me.
Pepperoni pizza.
It's derailed.
What?
I was saying slow walkers, that's another one. If you get stuck behind a slow walker. Or, when you're on an escalator, or are they escalators?
Oh, and they stand on the wrong side.
Yes, and they stand on the wrong side. And I know it's like a London thing that you're supposed to stand on the right and let people take over on the left. But why can we not just have that everywhere? Because, like, why do you have to be in the capital city to be in a rush to get somewhere? Like, I'm in a rush to go everywhere. I'm always running late. Like, fucking get out of my way so I can walk.
Actually, can I change my pettiest thing that annoys me? It's you never being on time.
Because of fucking slow walkers.
I don't think it's slow walkers.
Slow drivers, slow walkers.
Are you sure you're not the problem with the tardiness here?
Yes, actually. You are. You are equally as bad.
Oh, no, I mean, it's bad. All I'm saying is you made out like you were basically blaming everything else. For
it is always
late.
someone else's problem. I just don't allow time for people to be a problem. That's
it's not everyone else's problem.
It always is.
Bollocks.
I will always leave enough time, but I don't leave enough time for something to go wrong, and something always goes wrong.
So you don't leave enough time.
Thank you.
I mean, I appreciate you can't plan for absolutely everything. But...
Swiftly moving on. We are going to crack into basically Henry's.
You're cracking to me.
Just had a minor stroke.
Realised what I was saying, then I was like, I can't fix this. I can't wing my way out of that.
Goody.
This is what unscripted content creation looks like.
I like it. It's natural.
It's authentic. It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are going to dive into Henry's journey. He's going to introduce himself, talk about where he started, why he started, what he's learned. He's here.
You're going to have to control yourself.
I think dive into Henry's a lot worse than crack into Henry, personally, but...
This is why we have to mark this podcast as explicit, because this would probably get heavily censored. Okay, or reported. I don't really know how it works, but to be safe, 18 plus and explicit content only. Henry, on that note,
is this only fun? So we're going to start getting naked half an hour into this.
It's going to be a hog room.
It's going to be a hog room. Oh, yeah, good podcast, bro. Can I see that hog?
It's for about 20 minutes before the recording, and it's still not gone.
No.
Oh, dear me.
Right then,
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Henry, sir, introduce yourself and also give us a bit of your journey, background stuff. Talk about from. Like literally, actually, because you did sports stuff before. So give us the whole, like, before you actually got into the gym, all the sports you've done and everything, and then up until now.
what kickstarted? Yeah, just wherever feels natural for you to pinpoint the start of your journey.
take
Yeah,
one.
so I probably start of a fitness journey would have been rugby. I've played that since I was about 5 or 6.
Mhm.
That was very much what sport is the portly child going to be good at? Let's put them into rugby.
Portly child.
Well, I was never going to be a 100-meter sprinter. That was apparent at the age of 5, and it's still
Physics were
apparently not.
against me.
Yeah, so I did that for a good number of years. Probably only started like going to the gym in any capacity, maybe end of GCSEs, sixth form, whatever point that rugby started getting serious enough at school that it was like, you should probably be more than just like a bag of mashed potatoes. Because Ol would have started going with me at school.
Yeah.
Because it would have been back when the centre was the new centre, but not the current centre. So yeah, I'd done a bit of training then. And then we've worked together for 5.5 years.
Oh yes.
'Cause that was my master's year. That was I started.
Yeah, but you started when you were studying. Yeah, you were at uni.
Yeah, so I'd left Lancaster. I was in Leeds living with Matt, and then we started working together, and then we've been working together for what, 6 months, maybe
Longer than that, I bet now. Was
Is
it
it?
July? Start of July. Actually, no, so that would be 6 months.
It was after.
Was it June or July?
It was after I got
July,
back from
actually.
our big summer holiday for Lucy and I. So whenever that would have been.
That's
'cause
crazy.
I remember in my brain being like,
It feels longer than that.
I'm probably going to consume a lot of food on this holiday. We'll wait until afterwards before I cut.
The classic.
Yeah, no. So I'm now deep
Yeah.
into the prep for my first powerlifting comp because I've been indoctrinated by them both. I'm going to try my best to look dead down the camera when I say this. I am being coerced to doing this. There has been extensive peer pressure from the gentleman next to me, and to a lesser extent, the lady next to him. And I'm now competing against my will in May, but you're preparing me for it between the two of you.
Yes.
If I blow up in the meantime or even on the day,
Exactly, it's on us.
it is.
It's
You
on
are
us.
liable.
We'll take you've got it on camera there, guys. It's our responsibility if shit hits the fan, but it won't, because you're gonna be absolutely fine. And yeah,
You won't sound any more confident.
The voice got higher and higher as the sentence went on.
He's gonna live.
no, I'm excited for it.
No, I'm buzzing.
So we're going for the Warrington. It's a novice comp, isn't it? Qualifier.
I think it's a qualifier.
Oh, okay.
It's a qualifier.
So Raw Strength Open.
Yeah, Raw Strength in Warrington, which is a great gym. If you've never been, great vibes, great community with the WRPF, which is also a great federation.
Should we get political?
Big up the No, we're not going to go any.
Not Venezuela.
Brilliant.
Venezuela out of this.
Pick a federation that cares.
Well, not the IPF.
And that's all we're going to say. Oh, no, he went there.
Boom. Right, yeah.
If I can't suck on my chain and celebrate, I don't want.
Yeah. And I'll be doing that one with you, which I think will be cool. And I've also bullied my brother, who you were best men at each other's weddings.
We were.
So I think it's going to be good for like your first one, like being surrounded by, because there's also other people that we know that are going to be there as well, that you know, that you've played rugby with them, and then also gone into powerlifting and stuff. So I think, especially for your first one, it's all about like getting a feel for it. And basically, it's just that first one is just, it's like a training day with mates. You're just going out there, doing it because. Yeah.
That's what competing is about. Like, it's not just. I mean, yeah, there is a competitive nature to it, of course, but it doesn't have to be super scary or intimidating. Like, it's supposed to be fun as well.
But I think definitely for your first one, it's about making it fun. And then if you like.
Yeah, because you actually want to enjoy it, otherwise you're never going to do it again. You know,
but it's also like dipping your toe in, because some people do like one meet and they go, you know what, competing's not for me, and that's absolutely fine. But I think there's something to be said about like actually dipping your toe in. Like, for me, it's. I think you wanted to do it as well. It's just I bullied you into it. It's like you've been training like
don't lie to them.
You've been training this way for like 5.5 years. So it'd be cool to actually say that you've then gone onto a platform and like almost like done something with it.
You're not a real powerlifter until you get on the platform.
No, it's not even that. But I think,
I'm kidding.
But I think it's really, really fun. Like competing is fun. Like doing a meet is fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, we think it is. In our experience, it's been fun.
Are we biased?
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe,
but that's okay.
Perhaps.
And I think it will be good fun. Like
the whole weekend will be good. We'll make a proper weekend of it. It'll be class.
Yeah, I think it's the whole community aspect of it that's appealing. That it's I can go and lift weights in my own gym on my own, and unless I get particularly schizophrenic, then there's only me there. So it will be good to have like not like a crowd as such, but like people who are also really excited
Yeah.
about the day for their own sake. So I'm excited for the peak as well. That the whole not even just the day itself. I'm looking forward to how that experience feels.
Yeah. When you
strap in.
honestly, from my experience, like when you peak and you taper, like you go through a very humbling experience in your training. Like things can feel utterly shit, and you will have the potentially loads of panic, loads of stress, loads of worry that things aren't going well. You may fail some lifts, you may not. Your peak may go really, really well. But I've definitely had experiences where peaks have gone really, really bad, and I'm like, I am not going to recover from this in my 1 week taper. And then actually, you pull out some absolute stonking numbers on comp day, which is
I find the taper harder than the peak.
yes, but the taper, that's what I mean. The taper also feels rough because you're recovering from what has been a
But it's
very
not even
intense
that.
peak.
It's not doing as much.
Oh, right.
You know, the fact that you basically for that last week, it's like it's essentially it's a keep things ticking over, just making sure you're keeping
No, I love
like
that
this.
element of taper.
Well, no, because I was
so much of my time back.
no, I'm the opposite. Where it's like I need to be doing stuff. So like the pulling back.
Oh, I'm doing stuff. I'm just filling it with stuff that I've not done because I've
No.
prioritized training instead.
You know what I mean? Like, in terms of like gym stuff, it's like having to pull back. Like you go from peaking to lifting like potentially the heaviest, like prepping to lift the heaviest weights, and
squatting 40 kilos.
Yeah, and then you go to like basically just some skill work and some stuff just to keep the blood moving. It's
that's why now is like the right time to do it for me, because like, having done the work we've done to get me to cut so much, like that and injuries have meant I've had a good share of like knowing what it's like to fail lifts, knowing what the less productive side of it is, because we've had basically the best part of like 5.5 years of just continual increase on everything, which has been class. So it's nice to have had that adversity not on a platform.
Yeah.
Because like ultimately, if it doesn't work out on the platform now, it's like, well, okay, it doesn't work out this time, next time.
Yeah.
Whereas like 6 months, a year ago, that would have really fucked me off.
Yeah.
Which is a valid point, actually, because I think when I did my first ever full powerlifting meet, I don't think I hadn't been powerlifting for maybe a year, so I hadn't actually failed many lifts at all. But my first comp, I went 9 for 9, but obviously I was a lot more conservative because that comp was specifically for confidence and it was for experience and it was for enjoyment. And I was like, this is fucking easy. This would go so well. Second comp, I think I went 6 for 9, something like that. I don't know. It was a humbling experience.
Is that the one I watched at the beginning of this? No.
You watched my
That was your second one, wasn't it?
second comp. The one in February, yeah, in Warrington.
That's when you deadlifted 170.
70,
That's when you deadlifted 170.
Well, I failed my third squat and I failed my third bench. And then I made my third deadlift because I was so pissed that I was like, there's no way. So I went 8 for 9.
Was it Euros and Nats that you benched 80? Was it Nats?
Nats.
Yeah.
Again, went 7 for 9. Missed my last squat on depth when my third squat was better than my second.
Was that the one that was in like Poland or something?
That was
Euros.
You did
Euros was in Poland.
Yeah,
and I went 7 for 9 on that one as well.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Row.
Yeah, because even though I made my 170 deadlift, they called me. I got caught for hitching. Got stuck on my legs.
I thought that was BS, to be honest, on the
Thank
stream.
you.
It didn't look like it was, but
it felt low-key like it was, but it got to that point where it was stuck on my legs, and I was like, I'm going to have to roll this up my legs, and it's going to look like I'm hitching, even though I'm going to use zero momentum for my legs to like get it up. But hey, is what it is. At that point, I had like a very rough prep, so I was impressed to get anything with a 7 up in the air, to be honest. Anyway, we digress. Did we really mention about how you've been through like quite a heavy cut? I know you touched on it.
He mentioned it very briefly.
Yeah, but I feel like not enough credit was given to that because Henry has come off the back of what has been. When did we start? It would have been July because we had a couple of weeks finding our feet, getting into it, and then up until first week of December.
Yeah, that's about right.
We came out of it, and you lost a grand total of
14 kilograms. Hooray!
That's a big drop. He's a skinny boy. No, he's not a skinny boy. That's really insulting.
Whoa.
He's a lean boy who is ready to compete in under 100s.
I am, yes. I'm still under 100s, which was the big fear.
You are? You're cruising around
I'm not going to lie, I did think that I was going to go straight back to maintenance and it just all go back on. So I've finally actually like stayed at the same weight for more than just like 2 check-ins in a row, which is good.
And categorically got stronger in the
Yeah.
process of doing so.
Yeah.
Like, your strength hasn't taken a hit off the back, which is, I think, what was most important, to be honest, because it wasn't just about
Yeah.
body composition as well. Obviously, your performance still was very much a priority, which I think is a big misconception in powerlifting. Like, people assume the sport is responsible for making you fat, and I see this all the time.
We're responsible for making us fat.
Yeah, like, people associate powerlifting with being overweight, and it's just because you will see a lot of athletes in a less lean body composition. But, like, one, being slightly less lean is often advantageous to perform better in the sport, because lighter does not always mean stronger. And I'm not saying it's always like mass moves mass, but often you will find people are stronger when they're in their most, filled, hydrated, non-depleted condition, which obviously might look a bit fuller than a super lean bodybuilding type composition. But then again, that doesn't mean we should always be stuffing our face with cakes, donuts, burgers, all the like super calorific food, because we think more calories equals more mass equals more weight on the bar, because, it does become a point where, it's diminishing returns and whatnot.
Muscle moves, not fat.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I
You
think
can't
Henry's a
control
perfect example of that, because, he's been able to get into a condition that you're happy with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
I'm not going to put words in your mouth,
Positive.
but also, it's not compromise your performance off the back of that. And the reason I say that is because it really bugs me when I see people sack off powerlifting, or they go into like bodybuilding style training because they want to look better, quote unquote better, or like they want to look leaner. And it's like, well, you can still powerlift if that's your goal. Like, there's nothing, it's not the training that's doing that, it's your nutrition. But anyway, that's pet peeve.
So you're telling me I can't eat a whole bag of Haribo every time I train?
Oh, you can do what you want. I mean,
Mass moves mass. You just
yeah.
Right, so
But I'm just saying,
all
if
the
you
donuts.
wanted to be leaner, then you don't have to give up powerlifting to achieve that goal.
Ain't no CPAPs in the jungle. Right.
Shall we crack on with the questions?
The main bulk of the... That was me being a news reporter. Yeah, so we thought it would be a cool idea, seeing as we've got Henry here, who we both coach. I do the strength side, we always said you do the nutrition side. So we thought it'd be cool for Henry to kind of, not put us on the spot, but...
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Put us on the spot, basically.
But no idea what he's going to ask
us. But ask us questions about... So he's going to ask me 2 questions about training, kind of 2 questions about nutrition, but we'll kind of alternate, so it's not just one of us talking for 15, 20 minutes. And then we're going to fire a question, 1 each back at you, 1 about training, 1 about nutrition. Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. You can choose who you want to start with. You can start with either myself or Hannah.
It probably makes sense to start with you, Hannah, because you've almost touched on what I was going to ask. Because
cool.
I've got 2. The first one was like, what do you think is the most common mistake you see? I'm going to sod normal people off out of this.
Gem pop, you cancelled.
Exactly.
Get to fuck.
Get out. Like, what's the big mistake you see athletes making in their nutrition? Because you mentioned about the fact that your training doesn't have to be compromised if you do a cut, for example. My only real experience of cutting before has been that it has led to a quite substantial drop in performance. And that was because I did it badly. But it made me think, like, there's got to be something that you see and you're like, I can't believe that people who are trying to perform do this or don't do this.
Oh, that's a really good question, actually. I think one of the most obvious points off the back of that will be people go balls to the walls way too quick. Like, when performance is a priority for you, you want to try and minimize the change in variables as much as possible, because you want things to be predictable. Because as soon as you can, things can be predictable, that's when you can be consistent, and that's when we see improvements in performance, because it only takes a tiny tweak to be able to fix whatever might not be working for you to get better. If you're going to slash calories, you're going to slash energy intake, you're then obviously going to, as a result, slash macronutrient intake. You're also then going to slash micronutrient intake. It's then going to compromise potential sleep quality. It's potentially going to compromise digestion quality. It's potentially going to compromise mood, motivation, all the psychological impacts, which then, before you know it, you think you're only changing one variable, which is calories, when really you've just accumulated a big bunch of changing variables that can all contribute and do contribute to performance output. So when you're looking to get a little bit leaner or a lot leaner, it doesn't matter, easing yourself into it, providing you don't need to, you've not got a massive deadline on your head. Some athletes, if it's like a weight-based sport like powerlifting, may need to do it not necessarily to look leaner, but they may need to get into a lower weight class for whatever reason. Then you see some people pull out, things like water cuts or fiber cuts, or they manipulate their macro intake or food timing to get that number on the scales to go down. That can have a knock-on on performance, but again, that's kind of like a worst case scenario. If we're just talking about the general athlete who wants to get leaner without compromising performance, don't rush it, and like long term is always going to be better, because then you can still cycle or periodize your phases of nutrition the same way you would with your training. So with training, for example, you'll go through like intensification phases, or you might go through accumulation phases where you change volume, you change load, you change exercise selection, all of these different things which are going to help promote performance. It's the same with your nutrition. So you're not always going to be diet, keep dropping calories, dropping. There'll be like things like, I don't know, you call them different things, but like refeeds, or there might be like diet breaks, or you want to account for times where performance matters more than body composition and you have to bring things back up. But if you're constantly just chasing a number on the scale and going low, people don't care about all of that, and they just think of like less is more in terms of like energy intake, and then wonder why they can't lift what they did, or they don't have the ability to train as hard as they did or as much as they did. They can't recover as quick as they did, because all of that comes into account as well, which I think is why people probably end up sacking off powerlifting when it comes to getting leaner, if that is their number one goal, because it takes a little bit more consideration about your nutrition rather than just calorie deficit. You need to think about cycling macronutrients, your carb intake on your rest days. This is why we do it with you. Like, you don't need as many carbs in your rest days, but you could definitely benefit from them on your training days. So bringing it in there is an easy way to create a deficit for you overall in the week without it affecting your performance so much. And that's just like a really basic one. But then obviously you can even look into like supplement usage to help support that and whatnot. But it requires more thought, time and attention and effort, and consistency, of course, rather than just eat less, like shrink your portions or whatever. And that is a way to lose weight for sure.
Yeah.
But that's not a way to perform better, because ultimately you want to try and achieve the goal while still eating as much as possible. And people don't realize that. They just think, oh, if I can eat less quickly, I'll lose it quicker. I'll be out of the dieting phase quicker, and then wonder why they pile it back on and can't maintain that.
I see a lot of that actually at the moment. Like, the amount of times I've seen people on Instagram saying, people are in a cut for too long, you can do this in a month. And to be fair, the results they show are pretty extreme. Not even necessarily in like a bad way. Like, objectively, the person on the after does look better than the person on the before. But there's no doubt in my mind that it's just not sustainable.
Yeah.
You can't adjust to that quickly.
And I think that's what you have to take into consideration. And again, I kind of went on a tangent then, but like why people migrate more towards like the bodybuilding side of things rather than powerlifting when their focus is body composition. Because when you're doing that, you can achieve a great result in a short space of time. And there's nothing wrong with chasing a more dramatic cut, for example, to get in and out. Because again, the longer you're in that phase, yes, arguably, the longer you're delaying chance to really rocket performance or really build some muscle tissue, because obviously it's going to be harder to do when you're in a overall deficit, which is the point of a fat loss phase. But again, with the up and down like fluctuation and the periodization and the nutrition, that's when you won't see as much of a dramatic change, because you still want your body to be nourished and not depleted to support what you're doing in that instance. So I'll take myself for an example. Like when I've just come off the back of a relatively short dieting phase at the end of the year, but in that I was training for ethics and I was training for a half marathon. So that entire period, what ended up probably being about 12 weeks, not all of that 12 weeks could be in a deficit. So I couldn't necessarily see as much of a dramatic difference as I would if dieting was just the only goal, because week before, or like half a week before my marathon, I was having to then carb load. So I was in a surplus for that. But I PB'd my half marathon by quite a significant amount. Same with ethics. I'd never done that before, but I still did better than what I thought I could do. But again, had to carb load for about half a week up to it to support that. But the performance still matters for me. But then again, I still lost 5 kilos off the back of it. So I still lost weight and I still got, the desired result, but didn't have to compromise my performance. But again, I wasn't in a crazy deficit. It also meant I could be consistent and I wasn't going up and down. My relationship with food didn't suffer. I didn't feel like I was dieting, to be honest, at all. It was a really, really easy diet, like as far as it goes. And it means when I'm ready to come out of this powerlifting comp phase, and I want to go into another diet again, I'm more than happy to jump into that because I don't feel like I've been hella restricted. It wasn't a bad experience, and I'm happy to know that, okay, performance phase done, let's get back into body composition phase and then do that, and then I'll be back into performance phase. So you just phase it out. So it won't mean like I'll get completely dick skin shredded over the next few months, but I'm okay with that because performance will always be a priority for me.
You'll be doing well to get dick skin. Like the patience,
Yeah.
there's a big aspect then, that rather than trying to have
Massively.
like, you can't have your cake and eat it, but at the same time, like a
Yeah,
little bit more time
exactly.
to it.
Like you can get leaner and you can look better while still performing better. Just don't expect it to be as dramatic as you'll see like these 6 to 8 week transformations that bodybuilders will do, because they will literally live off 800 calories. And they don't tell you about that. There's these fantastic transformations you'll see on Instagram, and these coaches will be like, oil them up, they'll tan them up, they'll stick them in a photo shoot, scenario.
Well,
They do, and then they're like, oh, look at my client went from this, which has got shit lighting, it's like done in a dark room with a messy background and these people wearing old clothes that they don't feel confident in, and then they'll put them in a condition where it's got photo shoot prep, quality lighting, cameras, as in the fake tan, the oils, they will look better, like categorically, but you don't dismiss what they've had to go through to get there, because 9 times out of 10, and I've spoken to people that have had these experiences, they've been put on like 800 calorie diets, they've had hours of cardio to complete every single day, they've like 5-day-a-week training sessions, so it's like they've really gone balls to the walls there, and it's like they won't have necessarily gained bucket loads of muscle mass, they won't have really like massively improved their performance, they've just lost a lot of body fat to reveal their anatomy, essentially, which anyone could get into that condition if you really, really wanted to.
I think it's interesting with people doing the whole like comparing powerlifting to bodybuilding, because they think like powerlifting is performance, bodybuilding is more for the aesthetics, which in general it is, because powerlifting you're doing it for numbers, bodybuilding's a subjective thing on how good you look and how conditioned you are. But like you've said, even with bodybuilding, you have to phase training. Like the whole point of bodybuilding is, depending on what class you're in, obviously, you have to put on muscle. Like to be an open bodybuilder, you have to be big. You don't do that by dieting. So even within a bodybuilder's yearly thing, there'll be times where you're in a surplus to help support building muscle. So you're not going to, again, like you said, even in bodybuilding, you're not going to be super lean, walking around at 3% body fat, stage ready all the time. That's just not a realistic thing. So even though people leave powerlifting because they're worried about the aesthetics, even you see, I know like more stuff's come out, but even look at old school bodybuilders when they bulk up, and you'd see them like guest pose in the off season, and they just like, there's no way you could be on stage, but they're like 300 pounds of fucking wham because they've spent 2 years trying to put on as much muscle to be competitive.
That's what that picture of Chris Bumstead going around was. There, like people were getting asked, would you rather have somebody with like a gym physique, and then they were showing somebody competing on stage, or a dad bod, and it was just Chris Bumstead out of season. It's like, what do you mean dad bod?
Yeah.
Like, dude's yoked. Even now he's not competing anymore. He's still jacked.
But I think that, like, just to summarize all of that, it's almost being, to make it more clear, probably being about intentional with your phases. So you don't need to go all out, like slash everything super quick, because chances are you won't be able to sustain that. Your performance will tank, you'll hate your life, nothing will go well because your body composition won't change because you've not put enough time in it to last that long at that intensity to see any significant results, and your performance will tank off the back of it, so you won't even be getting anything off the back of that. You'll probably hate your training, you'll hate your nutrition, you'll build a negative relationship with it, which I'm not going to go into it, but that can obviously cause a whole host of other issues. But you're better off just being like intentional, like have a phase where it's dieting phase now, calories are going to come down, not crazy amount, but just make sure you tick the boxes because you're going to get a better result, and then enjoy the performance phase, like do what you need to do, stick to it, and then go again into your dieting phase. Doesn't need to be intense like crazy, but it just means you could do this for longer without it negatively impacting your performance. Sorry, I could
Breathe, yeah.
Over to you, Alex.
Ask
Well, Henry,
me.
should say, ask me a question.
Ask me a question. No.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Question 2. The first thing I wanted to ask you was, again, it's skewed on the powerlifting because that's what I'm interested in.
That's all good.
Shoot me. At the moment,
Yep.
I have never done a squat, bench, deadlift on the same day in the same session ever in my life.
Yeah.
We have me program conjugate style at the moment, so it's not like I'm not doing all of them in the week.
Yeah.
Why have you got it set up that way? And also, do you think there'll come a point other than just as like a dry run of like, okay, we'll do a mock comp. I don't know whether that'll be a thing you want to do. Like, do you think there comes a stage where you want to start incorporating the three of them in one go?
So to answer that one, I suppose I have to talk about conjugate a bit.
Well, I wanted you to, because
Yeah.
you're quite evangelical about it.
I'm not evangelical. It's just what my bias is. So like when you set up training, there's basically, again, like there's 4 methods of periodization. You've got conjugate, undulating, block, and linear. And within each of those 4 things, there's X amount of programs that are built around each of those 4 methods, right? So like 5-3-1's a very well-known one, which was made by a guy called Jim Wendler. And it's basically a very basic thing of you train for 3 weeks, deload, and then you rinse and repeat, adding a bit of weight on. The way that conjugate is it's kind of you trying to train multiple qualities at the same time. The most famous example of that is Westside. But it's kind of when I got into lifting, conjugate was the one that interested me the method that interested me the most. It doesn't mean it doesn't make the other 3 wrong. It's just that's where I've put a lot of my learning into. I still know I'm aware of the other 3 and I know how to implement it. Personally, I just prefer conjugate, and you do as well, so it works quite well. And that basically means that we have heavier days and lighter days, basically. And again, you get people, because you even like with us, like we like me and Ham both compete in powerlifting, but our training is
Very different.
very different. Whereas,
Well,
in terms of if you look at it day by day, like I will have, like when I do my heavy days and lower days, it's just heavy upper and lower. Whereas you will
mine's
have
not
days
so
where
explicit. It's
you'll
like,
squat and bench on one day, or you'll deadlift and like
Yeah.
yours interlinks, and it's kind of like there is no right. Like this is the thing that try and get through people, and do it a lot in my content, is there is no, like, just because I train this way and you train that way doesn't make my way better than yours or your way better than mine. It's just I prefer doing it that way, because I think the other thing about training as well is, like we've said about competing, is ultimately you want to enjoy it. You want to have fun. If you enjoy it and you have fun, you're going to put more effort in, right? So all it is like, find what of course people are going to have biases. We have biases with everything. We have preferences. Like some people like pineapple on pizza. I think they should all be shot in the face. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just like you prefer that food. I don't prefer that food. It's like ultimately I find something I like and you find something you like. And that's what training is. I like doing it that way because, especially on the heavier days, typically in a conjugate thing, you'll work up to, like, usually in the traditional sense, it's a 1 rep max or a near 1, something that's going to be like 95% plus. But you can do like 5 rep maxes, 4 rep maxes, 3 rep maxes, that kind of thing. But the reason I like it is you get used to lifting heavy weights all the time. So, like, now when I tell you to go, like, oh, even though you do variations of, if I say, right, okay, cool, today you're doing a 1 rep max, front squat, back squat, Zercher squat, SSB, does it really phase you in the grand scheme of things?
No.
So there's that thing where, like, and this is the thing that pisses me off about people that like lack the ability to critically think, is one of the biggest criticisms of conjugate style is typically they had a lot of variation in their main movements. So people be like, oh, it's not very, because in a powerlifting meet, you back squat with a bar, you do a deadlift with a bar or a deadlift bar, and you bench with a straight bar, and that's what you do. So if you're doing Zercher squats to pins against 5 bands, it's not specific. And yeah, of course it's fucking not. But like, if you take, like, when the West Siders were doing it, they're equipped lifters. So how they set up their training was to mimic being in suits, but not being in suits all the time. So a lot of the chains and the bands were to overload the top, because like a squat suit and a deadlift suit and a bench shirt all give you a lot of help out the bottom, and then the help eases off as you get to the top. So they use bands and chains to overload the top. If you're a raw lifter, that's going to do fuck all for you the majority of the time. Obviously, you can still use bands and chains. There's specific reasons you'd use that. But in the grand scheme of things, it's like you can still take that principle and that method, but adapt it and tweak it to a raw lifter. So, for instance, a lot of the time with you, we're not moving that far away from what a normal back squat would look like. Because if we had you doing zerches and this and that and the other all the time, it wouldn't have as great a carryover as if we were doing back squats, paused back squats to pins, maybe an SSB in every time. Like, yes, it's a specialty bar, but it's still a bar on your back. It's just going to stress a slightly different musculature. If you didn't like training that way, I wouldn't program you that way, but you do like training that way. In terms of, are we going to have a specific SBD day? That'll be a we'll see. It depends on if you felt like you would need that for a confidence thing. If you wanted to do a mock thing, we could do that. But basically with how a peak is set up anyway, is that you tend to stagger when you have your last heavies on the specific lifts anyway. So as long as you're getting those last heavy attempts in the ground, it's like you have your last heavy deadlift X days out, last heavy squat X days out, and last heavy bench X days out. But it would be one of those things where, like, if you want to do that, absolutely could do that, just so you had the experience of doing. Also, and to be fair, like, closer to it might do that, but it wouldn't be all out. So it would be like back squat percentages, just to give you the experience of doing 3-3-3 all in the same day. I've kind of mocked out about what you're, because we're currently in a phase of training where we are, because bench is the one that we're trying to, obviously, with how you're how you're built, you're not exactly designed to press.
That's quite
It's not an excuse, but you have long arms basically, and a lot of work together with you is we need to try and put some muscle on your upper body. So we're currently running like what was a phase of what's called death bench, isn't it?
Have you named this death bench or
no? The program is called death bench.
Because I tried to find this on TikTok and well, literally
no one's done it.
Yeah,
it never came.
Yeah, we should have probably said you're the guinea pig for the first.
I'm doing it at the same time now because I'm doing it because I'm off the back of an injury and I need to put on muscle in the places where I got hurt.
I hope you suffer as much as I am.
I fucking love it. It's great.
Well, I mean, we'll see how I feel after tomorrow's session.
But yeah, we're basically running a 6-week phase of death bench, and then when we come out of that, it's going to be 14 weeks from your comp.
Yeah.
So I'm looking. So we're still going to keep your training looking pretty much the same all the way into that. In terms of we're tweaking it slightly. We're going to have
heavy, an exclusive for me.
Heavy squat, secondary deadlift,
right?
Heavy bench. Heavy deadlift, secondary squat, rep effort bench. So you're going to get
within consecutive weeks or within 1 week?
Within 1 week.
Within 1 week. So it goes to heavy squat on what will be the first.
We'll probably keep your. I need to work out where everything is, but it might make sense to keep the days as they are because in terms of your last bench being X amount of days out, it's just
whatever works.
Yeah, I'm currently open that, but yeah, it's one of those things where like it's when you peak in, it's more about making sure you're not doing those things. It's about that balance of when you're doing your last heavies and stuff. But I don't think you necessarily need to do SBD days. I certainly have never done it. I know you're good.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got the notification that my energy thing is on.
Do you want to go and rescue it?
That's right, you can continue.
Okay, plug it in. Plug it in, man.
Yo, Jamie, pull that shit up.
Yeah. Did I answer the question?
You did.
Yeah.
So I basically said, do you think that you need to do it? The answer is no.
Why'd you do it? Because I like it, you like it, it's fucking superior, now shut up.
It's not superior.
Yeah, no, it's just your preference.
Basically, there's a right way of doing it, and it's my way.
But I think, actually, to put this to you, close up, to put this to you then, Han, do you think that, obviously, do you think there's anything in doing like those heavy singles more often?
Well, it's funny you said this, and you're asking me this for a reason.
I asked this on purpose, yeah.
Because last week I've just had a 3-week wave of using the weight releases with my squats. And this is meant for anyone that is not familiar with what a weight releaser is. You essentially hook extra weights onto the side of the barbell so that when you squat or you bench down, once you get to the bottom position, they unhook and then you stand up with obviously a lighter weight. So it practices you carrying or shifting heavy weight on the eccentric. great if you're not confident or not used, or maybe just not quite ready to lift heavier weights, but you need to build either confidence or strength or whatever in that area. Squats for me is something I have never been the best at. A lot of it, though, comes from a confidence thing. And the
Yes.
second I have anything heavy on my back, I get in my head. As much as I try to get out of it and prep myself for it and hype myself up, it tends to be a recurring issue. It tends to present on me not hitting depth. We've established my ability to get into depth is not a problem. It only seems to just magic itself out of nowhere when something feels heavy on my back.
Coincidence.
However, last week it was a very heavy set and it was 147 kilos on my back on the eccentric,
120 on the bar, and then
120
20.
going back up.
Yeah,
So I
100
dropped 25 kilos.
more. 27.
I dropped 27 kilos,
Yeah,
at the bottom. And
it was good. It was a good squat.
stood
Really
up
good
it
squat.
with 120, which is less than what my comp PB is. But obviously, in that scenario, you've obviously taken 27 kilos more down with you. I've paused the rep at the bottom because I needed to give time for the weight releases to get off and unhook.
Yeah.
And then I've stood back up with it. Halfway up, I, for a split second, thought, this is it. This is the end of it.
I roared at you.
And I felt the bar roll up my back, which obviously pushed me over, which made it a little bit harder. But then, yeah, Alex roared in my ear. And thank God he did, because that pain shot me straight back up. And I stood up. But I've never had to grind a squat like that. And I've not had a lot of experience of grinding heavy squats. Probably because I've never been able to get into the position where I've lifted heavy enough weight and actually made it out the hole whilst hitting depth. Because I always either cut depth, so obviously it's easier to get out. Or I just haven't been in a position where I've been able to shift heavy weight. But again, the learning curve, because
and that's why I like the max effort method.
Yeah.
That max effort method in conjugate, because one of the things as well, like the arguments be if it's good, like doing a heavy one is going to make you stronger, because you argue that a lot of strength is made at a slightly lighter percentage for more rep work. But I think the best thing about max effort method is you can see when stuff's when you're lifting that heavy thing, you can see what's breaking down, so it's better able to target accessory work to fix that. But also it teaches you to grind, because and this is the one thing that fucking pisses me off about people when they go like, so I put into my rep calculator that I can bench 100 kilos, that means I should bench 120. It's like, no, it's fucking bollocks, because there's a difference between repping 100 for 10 and the last rep being difficult and putting 120 kilos on the bar and trying to bench that. Like, I don't know whether you agree with that. Either of you, but like, there's a difference between repping something to failure and taking something that's 100% plus for a single.
Because it's such a psychological element into it as well.
But it teaches you to grind. So like now, like, I've trained on my own. I don't have anyone spot me. I know that if I put the hooks in the right place, I'm not going to die. I have no problem unracking a bench that is max, close to max, or a bit heavier if I'm going for an all-time PB and being like, yeah, the worst thing that happens is if I don't get it, it just fucking goes to the pins. But like psychologically, because I've done that so often, it's like, yeah, it's heavy, and obviously you get a bit nervous before you lift something heavy because you're like, oh fuck, but I'm used to it. I know what it feels like to grind out heavy reps. I don't know whether it's the same for you, but like throughout when you've been training.
I completely agree. And actually, I was going to say the ironic thing is you didn't look like watching the, because is this the one you put on your story?
Yeah.
You didn't look like you were struggling as much as you said.
Because then we looked back and I watched it and I thought, because it didn't stop moving as you said.
Because the first thing you said was like, oh fuck. I was like, yes, it was hard and it slowed down because it was close to, like, that's, if it's something's heavy, it's going to move slow. It's not going to, if it moves fast, it's not your max, right?
But that's why you really have to fuck your feelings in that situation. And your perception of what feels hard isn't always what's categorically hard.
People will give up, especially if they're not used to it. People will give up as soon as they get up to their, like, what their, like, mini max sticking point, wherever it is, they will give up. It's like, no. Keep on pushing. Like, even if you set up equipment properly and you get pins or a spotter, they'll catch you. If you're at a meet, you've got spotters. Like, go to the point that bar physically fucking starts to come back down, and then someone's going to take it. Whereas your squat, you could see you hit that point and that lift halfway up where it slowed down a lot, but it didn't stop moving. And you said like, oh, I nearly. It's like, dude, it fucking moved. You would just sabotage yourself of like an all-time thing in that movement.
Which I've done so many times on the comp platform, and it's...
Fuck your feelings.
You do, because like you almost basically have, and I say this to like my endurance athlete clients all the time, like the ones that running is such a psychological sport, because like especially when you are doing anything endurance, to be fair, whether it's like triathlons, ultra marathons, like marathons, even like for some people it could be like 5-10Ks, like if that's relative, to whatever your journey is, your mind will always give up before your body does. So your idea of what feels hard or what your limit is always going to be lower than what it actually is. So the more practice you can get at what you think that limit is, it's going to go higher. And, you know, I might think a 147 down eccentric squat with a 120 is my max, but really maybe 125 is my true max, but I need to practice that more because then that won't feel like my max anymore. So then it'll gradually go higher. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway.
Your second question.
This is really, really niche, this one. And there might be just a straight yes or no answer, but I've thought about this a lot.
Yes.
No.
In light of the stuff that we've been talking about what makes a good pre-workout.
Oh, okay.
I have always been confused why nicotine is not used as a form of like intentional pre-workout, just purely nicotine. So I'm not suggesting you go out and have like a cigarette, but
pre-workout.
In theory,
nice.
If I pop a Zin and
I was just about to say,
get a lip pillow in,
Get a lip pillow.
There must be, to my mind, because it's a stimulant, there must be a period of time that I'm not going to get the negative effects, at least imminently from that, where the stimulant properties of that will be beneficial. But as far as I can see, nobody ever recommends it, except for
probably because
the people who are like what I would call degenerate lifters. So there was a guy who I used to watch on TikTok called Father Gaines, and he'd like smash a bottle of whiskey and go and smoke like a packet of cigarettes and then just go max out his bench. And there's something to be said for the fact that there are just certain genetic freaks that can just do what they want, essentially. But I don't know. I think there might be some truth in it. I want to know what the science opinion is on that. I'm not recommending this, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say anything that's said from now on is not advice.
Just theoretically.
We are not medical professionals.
I noticed that was really interesting that when I was living in Sweden, that was kind of where I first discovered what like snus was and all of the nicotine pouches that people basically put on in the mouth. If people aren't familiar with that, Zins is like a common brand over here. It's obviously been designed as almost like a way to kind of wean people off smoking. Anyway, it's so popular. I mean, did it originate from Scandinavia?
Yeah, Scandinavia is where it was big initially.
So when I was living over there, in the gym, it was so normal. Like most people you see walking around the gym, they have maybe their keys in a water bottle. In Sweden, it was their snus, their water bottle, their keys. Like everybody had them. It was so normal, and people would just be popping them through their gym sessions, like having them left, right, and centre. And I never thought at that time. I just thought this is a really bizarre like norm that they have over here because everyone's so like their whole culture around health and fitness is really like normalized. It's normal to exercise regularly, which I don't think it is as much in the UK, or like it's normal to eat really healthy balanced meals all the time, and it's normal to be out and moving and walking to work or cycling to work and doing all of this stuff that obviously we try to promote. But then I just thought how bizarre that it's not really a smoking culture. I mean, it's like
an anti-smoking
culture.
It's
an anti-smoking culture, but then everyone seems to love these nicotine pouches. So in one way, yes, I'd probably argue that it does have that pre-workout effect. Now, from a biochemical pathway perspective,
fancy.
This is something, and I would have to refresh my memory because I did study this in my neurobiology module, in specifically nicotine and the chemical pathways that they take to stimulate you. This is what we did on crickets.
No,
remember me telling you I did a experiment on crickets?
I'm just thinking of all those memes, you know, when it's like it's like they say that Zins are bad for you. It's like the study, they just stuffed a fucking rat full of Zins. It's like, the rat died, Zins bad.
The entire packet.
They said this pre-workout's bad for the rat, the study. They just put concentrated powder into his veins.
Another one.
Yeah, the cricket thing. Yeah, when you actually got really ethical about that, didn't you?
I really hated that. I mean, this is a massive tangent, but
you didn't want to kill crickets.
One of the experiments I had to do for a big module in my degree was we had to do this experiment on crickets, and it was like how to add there was no reason why we really had to do it, and that's what annoyed me, because I could have just happily taken the science and
Euthanizing crickets.
well, they were getting you to take out crickets, live crickets, inject them with some sort of stimulant, and then you would put electrodes in their legs, and you would then play music and see how their legs responded to the waves, you know, from this.
This is literally the rats.
Music, bad.
And I just couldn't get over like why this needed to happen. I was like, I will take your word for it. If that's what happens, like I'm more than happy to just go with it. Like I don't need to kill hundreds of crickets to prove this.
I think we need more data.
But then you're also telling me that I need bucket loads of data to prove my averages and stats and all of this. And I really didn't like that. I just did the maths and I got my friend to do the cricket stuff because.
What did you find from that study?
I'm not really sure the results were reliable, to be fair. I don't really trust my partner.
Okay.
Crickets love nicotine.
Yeah. No, that was a bit of a tangent. But what is interesting for some people is that people kind of like get addicted to smoking because it relaxes them. And I do wonder what the biochemical response is in that regard, because obviously a pre-workout stimulant is meant to almost like excite you, get your adrenaline going. Sorry, they're laughing at Carlos.
Sorry, this is my dog's world. We're all just living in it. Bro has absolutely no regard for us.
He's got up limbered up, had a big drunk.
He's just having a drink, stretching.
He's making me need a wee by drinking so loudly.
Nom nom nom.
Are you good?
You good,
We're
bro?
gonna settle, dude. We moved his bed over because his bed was essentially exactly where the camera is. And he's both very confused, but also very.
We've disrupted his.
Sorry, dude. That's my bad.
Setup, to be fair.
He's calm. Don't worry. He's a durable dog.
Sorry.
No, you're right. No, I was saying I was curious to know if the potential reason why it's not promoted. I mean, it's probably also got something to do with the fact that nicotine is an addictive substance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the ethical element. Maybe that's what.
I would hazard a guess as to say that's why it's not promoted in pre-workout substance. Not to say it wouldn't be effective.
But then, like, caffeine is addictive.
Arguably, yes.
Sugar's addictive, definitely.
What I actually would like to know is the neurodivergent side of that. And this is something that I've been meaning to
I volunteer as tribute.
No, because it's like the effect of caffeine. For some people, it doesn't make them feel wired. It relaxes them, or it allows them to just focus. So I don't know enough about what happens there chemically to understand why. I think it's neurodivergent people have a better ability to focus when they've had caffeine versus when they've not. Whereas some people will get the jitters, they'll get hyperactive, they'll get almost like anxiety off the back of it. And that's...
Do you want me to use me as a guinea pig?
Yes.
No, I'm sure there's probably enough rats that have been tested to know this.
Again, I think we need more data. If you're willing to volunteer.
You love caffeine, though.
Well, keen.
He'd never had caffeine, before I
know, I couldn't believe
He'd never had a Monster before I met him, and...
You need to get in on my
I don't need it. I just use depression to get me through my workouts.
It's not a stimulant though. That is
very much the opposite of a stimulant.
Depressant.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just one of those people. I just don't need to get I don't need to get that hyped. What I do need to get.
I don't agree with that. When you hit your big lifts, you're very clearly like emotionally frothy.
You slam your head against the barbell. You literally leave skin cells in the knurling of
your hype is just different to other people's like expression of that.
Yeah,
it's like when you see certain professional athletes just go really quiet before they go to perform. But that doesn't mean that you're not hyped. It means or if somebody's like flushed with adrenaline, you often see them just like staring and like go stationary before they just whack someone.
You know the around the inverted U theory for arousal. Is that like being disproven, or is that still relevant? You know where it's saying like for optimal performance, there's like a line.
Oh yeah.
And some people, like typically more extroverted people, need to be like slapped across the face and headbutted, where more introverted people, they just need to be. I've always been that. Like when I did the first comp, I was just like, I just need to just headphones in, and just everyone leave me alone and shut the fuck up. If someone slapped me across the face or gave me smiling salts, I think I'd have an autistic meltdown aneurysm and just be on the platform in the field position.
No, but there does become a point. I'm asking ChatGPT about what I've just asked you.
Cold.
Sorry. About the arousal. Is there too much?
The inverted. I think there is, because you see it. If people get too hyped up, they fuck up.
Yeah. I can.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to know, because that one, I did that when I was at A level, so like sport. LLP. It was in the textbooks, and I was like, what, chucking 10+ years ago. So I didn't know whether there was a more like updated thing of it, or how I mean, it makes sense.
Honestly, that's not something I've ever looked into, purely because
I like the
that's something
psychology
I would.
stuff.
No, I do, but I feel like that would be an experience over science thing. Like,
No, but there
you
would be
either know
science.
if, yeah, of course it will, but to me, it's not something I would have ever looked into, because I'm like, you know yourself from experience how excited you can get before you tank your own performance.
And
Yeah.
it changes from scenario to scenario. So like if I'm
Yes,
about
but-
to do a heavy squat, I more often than not want people to leave me alone. Whereas if I'm about to hit a big bench, I can be like dancing around, and I mean it helps having my own like space to do it. But like dancing around, like, singing to whatever I'm listening to, and like the state of arousal is very, very different.
But it's that curve is unique to the person. It's not saying it's not saying that curve is like a graph of like 100,000 people and this is where you fall. It's saying like everyone's curve will look like this, but where your optimal is going to be further along or further across depending on the individual.
But what about that same individual doing different?
Yeah. But then it's still specific to you. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. But like, so it can still change. What I'm saying is like for the same lift, two people might be totally different.
Yes. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you saying like for the squat, you need to be left the fuck alone. There'll be other people
Who-
that I know that I've seen at fucking memes that want to be like smacked across the face, hit, smelling salts, whatever. But that's still like your curve is still unique to you depending on the different things.
Yeah.
I think that's how I interpret it anyway. But like, yeah, it's interesting. The psychology side is interesting. Because even like with introverts and extroverts, it's something about like, I don't know whether you've experienced with it, like coaching people. People that are more extroverted. Oh, this is what like when we were looking at a very small bit in the psychology side, extroverts tend to need more like variation. So like in accessories, for example, they will want to rotate things more often because they get bored more easily. Whereas an introvert could typically like, it's very generalizing. Obviously, it's not black and white, but someone that's more introverted is more than happy to just stick doing the same thing for longer. Whereas someone that's more extroverted or whatever, they might need more stimulation by changing shit up. Anyway, going
I
on.
think the nuance is interesting with that though, because like if I look at food, for example, I'll happily eat more or less the same meals every day, almost in perpetuity. I would say I'm probably more extroverted than I am introverted as a person, though.
Yeah.
But then with training,
Yeah.
particularly at this point when we've got to a stage where it's really difficult to have, if I were to do 12 weeks of the same exercise, I couldn't continue to progress it. Carlos, just go settle, bro.
I was worried he's going to take out the mic.
Nah, he won't do that. He's just lurking.
There we go. Get in there.
Settle down, dude.
Circle up, boy.
Oh, he just goes off camera.
Good job.
Find a hovel to sit on. I love that in the video he's just going to appear every now and again.
Did he appear in the camera though?
Yeah,
he did.
He was in bottom
yeah.
right as we're looking. He didn't quite get his whole like ass on show, but
show your booty, man.
He was trying his best.
What we saying? So it's how with training,
I think I'm the same though. Like, I do get bored with training a lot quicker. I mean, that's why I have to train the way I do.
Yeah.
I would shoot myself if I only trained like a powerlifter. That's why I like the blend of.
I'm a
running.
hybrid athlete.
I hate seeing that term because it's
A
so overused now.
rock star.
A hybrid rock star. That's what I am.
I might actually be doing a high rocks bar at the end of the year. One of my colleagues has asked me if I'll do one with her. I've said if she can get tickets, it's in like November, December, then possibly she'd be in London. I'll be well beyond the comp at that point, so okay.
That would be so funny to watch. Can you imagine how he's going to be so deep in the pain cave?
What? Watching the high rocks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he won't.
You nearly died doing your athletics.
Yeah, but he won't pussy. That's what I mean, though. Henry will go all out.
Yeah.
He'll give everything. So he'll be.
I think I could raw dog a high rocks like now.
Shut the fuck
No,
up.
I would pay so much money to watch Henry raw dog a high rock.
I'm not saying
Hannah trained for her athletics. She went green.
They said went white. I'm changing colours.
You went colours, man.
I think Athex is objectively harder than a high rocks is.
Do you think? Oh, yeah. Hear that, guys?
Because don't do that. Don't inflate that.
Because essentially,
God's sake.
What I mean is, I think it's easier to do a high rocks badly than it is to do an Athex badly, because I think the lifts are much more sophisticated.
Yeah, no, I do get that.
An Athex comp than the lifts in high rocks and the movements in it are essentially very simple. to be good at it, it's the same. We've had this conversation about CrossFit. It's the same premise. To be a really good athlete at that, you have to be a really good athlete just in general.
Yeah.
But could I think I would very much struggle if you said to me tomorrow, right, Henry, go do a marathon. Like, that would be really hard. We have to be getting to David Goggins level of my brain, and it would take me like 6 hours. That would be a push. But there's no doubt in my mind that I could badly do a high rocks tomorrow if you just said, right, okay, that's your training, go.
It's just made to be accessible.
Well, I mean, it was until they started charging X amount per ticket, and
It was like £100 or something silly now for a ticket.
yeah, it's wild,
obscene.
And that's what
unbelievable business model from them, though.
I know.
I'm not hating on it.
No,
Massively take my hat off to them, but at the same time, like, IBF is shit.
We're talking about high rocks.
Yeah, I'm just saying about
Yeah,
bad.
but any chance? No,
but we're also saying about bad things. You had something good with high rock, and then you're charging for it.
Yeah, but this is what I mean, though. You can't, if
I
they're
don't
going to
mind
be able to make money off
charging
them.
money for it.
Who?
High rolls. But I've got nothing against them doing that. But it's no longer accessible, which is what they wanted it to be because it's so popular.
They've got money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they essentially they don't actually.
It's almost like elitism because they'll get given positions. Yeah,
exactly. And that's why people have got this impression now that a high rocks is so difficult. It's actually like the people competing in them are a much higher standard than it would be if you just cobbled together a group of strangers. I reckon most reasonably active people could complete a high rocks and be like, okay, yeah, that was hard. I'm not saying I'd do it easily, but I'd probably be like, yeah, that was a good workout. And then that would be fine. In the same way that I play a game of rugby, I'm like, yeah, that was really bloody hard. But then after a couple of days, normally the body's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I think I'd be good in it. I'm just saying.
But I think you are right though. Like you can do a high rocks without training, whereas like athletics is one of those things that it has a level of skill to it.
Yeah.
So you have to know the skill to be able to do, like, because you wouldn't get any squat if you couldn't squat. You just wouldn't pass that section.
I think high rocks is easier technically than CrossFit as well, because CrossFit's got the Olympic lifting to it, and like that is again same
Olympic lifting.
I really respect CrossFit. I know it's like a bit culty, but I really do. Like you look at a really good CrossFit athlete, and they are built.
Is that because they're on copious amounts of drugs?
Maybe, but they still look incredible.
Well, that's the same as saying elite powerlifters,
no, but
bodybuilders.
They are a really good, well-rounded athlete. Like they can run a decent distance. They can do the gymnastics moves. They can do the Olympic weightlifting moves. They can throw themselves left, right, and centre, upside down, inside out, whatever. It's.
I only actually have 2 genuine problems with CrossFit. One of them is the pull-ups. There's nothing that you can do to suggest that that's a valid pull-up to me.
Well, the
kipping ones, like not even like adding a little bit of kip on your last rep of a set. I can live with that. Consistently doing it like that, I can't.
Because it's not about the quality of the movement, it's about trying to get a score.
Exactly.
So the movement quality fucking goes to shit.
You could argue the same thing in powerlifting about people with a massive arch who bench with almost no range of motion, though.
But then there's rules have been brought in to eliminate that.
They have, but they still won't get everyone. There'll still be people who get away with murder because they've got mad mobility. But the other thing that I genuinely can't abide.
I don't respect that.
Great.
It's within the rules, but I just don't think it looks like. I don't think aesthetically it's what a bench press should be.
No, I would agree with you.
That's the same thing with now the IPF bringing that rule of no sinking.
Yeah.
So I've had a load of people kick off about that. So you can't sink bench anymore because they're basically saying like it's a glorified hip thrust.
Which not necessarily wrong on that.
So I think then it's like there were people in the IPF that were arguing doing that way wasn't aesthetically like that's not what bench press should be, and I'm like, agree. So I think they're still within the rules. You can still be like, yeah. I mean, at the very basic level, it's sumo versus conventional, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yes, I suppose.
Some people go, yeah, sumo.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that topic.
Wide stance convention.
Wide stance
convention.
What I think you mean.
My question.
Wait, before you go into that, sorry, I thought I might as well tell you what I was looking at.
Oh yeah.
You were thinking.
I thought you were being rude.
No. I wasn't. Yeah, just scrolling through Instagram.
I'm looking at some doom scroll.
No, because we were wondering like why nicotine and caffeine aren't considered like almost like comparable substances.
Yeah.
And I thought it had something to do with this, but I didn't want to say it.
She thought. No, but
it is to do with the pathway. But nicotine binds directly to nicotine acetylcholine receptors.
Exactly. Yeah.
I thought that as well.
Yeah.
Which directly stimulates dopamine release. So obviously the dopamine
Yes.
effect is what causes that addictive
Yeah.
behavior. Caffeine doesn't do that. It obviously blocks the adenosine receptors
Yeah.
to limit, obviously, your perceived feeling of tiredness. That's how it makes you feel more awake. So it doesn't directly increase dopamine release. It just limits how tired you feel, which makes you feel more awake.
So basically, the nicotine will make me happier and more energetic. So kids, you should pop.
No, do both. You should abuse caffeine and nicotine to feel less tired and happy all
But
the
that's
time.
why they don't consider caffeine an addictive substance, because it's not what directly causes you to feel awake. Like, technically, it's not actually having that same neurological impact. Whereas nicotine is directly making you feel good.
So you reckon that the reason that so basically it could be an effective element of a pre-workout, but they shouldn't do it because it's direct.
I'm going to leave the listeners, let them make up their own mind without me getting potentially
Henry's new caffeine pre-workout
having to
with
pull out my
added
insurance
nicotine.
We'll use Jord as a test. We'll put 6 Zins
in his mouth.
Just see how much you can score.
On an untrained individual.
To be fair, at what point you just sacked off and just start using crack as a pre-workout?
well, that's why, because cocaine and amphetamines work the same as nicotine. Like, it's the same. That's why it's considered.
Hannah is advocating for cocaine as a pre-workout. You heard it here first. It's a B3 exclusive.
Oh, that's best.
But yeah.
Actually, really did your question. Could I wee? Because I'm about to.
Yeah, go on. Then. We
can chat shit. You go and you go and urinate.
And I was going to do that. And we're back. Now Henry has released his bladder.
His piss.
We are going to swiftly move on to. Oh, do you want me to answer the question first? Because I also did, whilst you were gone, Google why.
Yes.
Caffeine affects neurodiverse people differently.
Because we're different.
Especially with people ADHD, this is because
PC.
caffeine acts on the systems that are already wired differently in neurodivergent brains, especially dopamine, noradrenaline, and sensory regulation.
That's walking down the stairs.
That's so fine. You can be.
Oh, now he just doesn't give a fuck. He made an effort about that the entire time. I had to move out late for him, and now he's just fucking scared across.
Confidence. He's done it once.
Yeah.
He can do it.
Sorry. He wants my seat on the sofa.
He does.
You know, sometimes I know that's why he's drinking. Like, so if Lucy and I are sat on the sofa, he'll go drink because one of us will be like, "Oh, maybe he needs some water," but he's got an empty bowl. We'll get up to go and fill up his bowl. And then he'll come and sit in our seat. And I was like, "You little bastard."
He knows. He's got you down
you
for tea.
little bastard.
He's okay. He's all right, folks. He's all right.
Okay, so this is interesting. So the first point it's brought up is that the reason caffeine impacts neurodiverse people differently to neurotypicals is because, especially in people with ADHD, their baseline dopamine level is lower compared to neurotypical.
Right.
Hence the dopamine deficit nature of the condition. Can you call it that?
Well, you have done.
Yeah, is it condition? I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
ADHD?
Yeah, is it classed as a condition?
Well, it's definitely a disorder. So
it's just a disorder. Yeah, I guess it's the same. And they typically have less efficient dopamine signaling and faster dopamine clearance. And now, because, as we've already discovered with the whole nicotine thing, caffeine doesn't create dopamine, it removes adenosine, which indirectly allows dopamine and noradrenaline to signal more strongly. So, for a neurotypical brain, this might cause like hyperactive behavior, whereas in a diverse brain, an ADHD brain or of that nature, it just creates like a normal person. Like, it allows you to focus normally because it brings you back up to the kind of neutral baseline where you should be at, but because you're already at like a deficit, it kind of brings you to that level where you're stimulated, but you're more like alert, you can focus, you've got a stable amount of energy. And I think that's probably why I can't function without a coffee in the morning. That would make a lot of sense.
Does that mean if you double the dosage then? Or maybe even...
Well, I guess maybe you just need a higher dosage to have that overstimulated effect. Can
we see how much caffeine it takes to kill you?
Which is also probably why...
I feel like that's not a very repeatable study, though.
I could try on a sample size of people. Should we just use Jord as our performing monkey?
Jord is the studies that happen.
We'll stuff him full of Zins and then caffeine. Just watch him explode.
He'd probably love that.
He
Joel,
would.
if you're listening, please write into the show. We'd love to experiment on it.
That could be a whole episode. Tune into episode 15 where we try all these things out on George.
We do the Stanford prison experiment.
Can we stick electrodes in his brain and his legs and inject him with something and see if he dances to certain music like your crickets? Repeat that study on George. It may kill George.
Oh, this one's okay. So it also has an impact on neuroadrenaline. So it increases neuroadrenaline, which is what makes you feel sharper and more alert, which is why neurodiverse people can feel like they have improved signal to noise. Like they have less ping ponging in their brain, basically, and they can initiate tasks better and actually follow through, which is why caffeine can feel grounding, organizing, and calming rather than energizing. It's very similar to how meds work, ADHD meds. And then it's also got a sensory processing. Wait, what? Sensory processing changes the experience. Neurodivergent nervous systems often have heightened sensory sensitivity,
What?
lower tolerance to
Oh, to
physiological
yawn.
arousal.
I'm just breathing deeply.
You're
Sorry.
being taught science. Listen.
I was just going to say, when I said don't talk over people on this because the audio won't pick it
I
up.
didn't. I just breathed and then I got judged for it.
I didn't verbally judge
Yeah.
you, though. I just looked at you. You knew what you did was wrong. Listen to Anne.
I wasn't until you started talking. Ah, you bitch.
Oh, he's going to pay for that.
I think this is the most interesting part that we've talked about. And metabolism, changes and timing. Oh, okay. So, yeah, that makes sense. Neurodivergent people have a faster and less predictable stimulant clearance, which is probably why, some people are like, oh, I can have a coffee right before bed or a Monster right before bed and it doesn't affect my sleep.
Oh my God, I have my pre-workout
I
in the evenings
noticed.
and I
Yeah, I
sleep
realized.
fine.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm ADHD.
You're one of them.
I'm one of them. Not another one.
No.
Don't bite me, I'll become an
Another
ADHD.
one, you can't write, and now I've got another one.
Also has a shorter benefit window, meaning if you take it too much before, you might not experience the...
Yeah, I get that as well. If I don't take my pre-workout like during the session, I
Also
have no
means you may
impact.
have a sharper crash.
Also happens. I get migraines if I have too much.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's why I don't take too much of it anymore.
This makes so much...
Henry's learning.
I once did a max squat where Lucy was fuming about this. I put like 3 scoops of pre-workout in, did PB my squat, but then we were driving down. This was when her mum still lived
Were you sick?
down in Cambridge. No, I just developed a migraine. I was the only one who could drive, so I had to drive because otherwise we couldn't get down at that point. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to delay this. But we got down to her mum's and I was just ill.
Oh, that's so funny.
Got
It's
the
not,
squat
but-
though.
Got the squat, I was going to say.
She was
Nothing else
fuming.
mattered after that.
Rightly so.
Yeah, we get that, Lucy. We just take some piss.
My question.
Yeah, second question. Go on.
You're so desperate for your second
Yeah,
question.
sorry, I really took over that one.
The nicotine one was one I really needed the answers
That
to.
yes or no question really didn't go to yes or no. It was quite a lot.
I got what I needed.
That yes or no was half an hour.
We've got an endorsement for Nordic Spirit or Zin or any
Sponsor
other
us.
brand that you want to
Yeah,
sponsor.
Zin. Give us Zins.
Go to Boss Man, they're nice and cheap.
I've never had one.
They're fine, to be honest.
You had one?
Yeah, they burn your gums.
I've never noticed that they're...
Actually, the first time I
Did
ever
you put
had
bleach
one.
in your mouth?
No, it does. But I think the first time I ever had one, because you can get different strengths.
Yes.
By the way, I
they're
just
different.
might say, like, this is an experience thing. I've never really been, I've never been a smoker. I've never been like a user of it. I've just had it for an experience thing. Yeah, so you can get different strengths. And I think I was given like a really strong one and it knocked me so sick. I was like, oh my God, this is a really intense, like almost like I guess a high, or you just feel like alert. You feel really awake.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then I thought I was going to pass out. I went really dizzy and felt really sick, which is probably why, again, it's not used in pre-workouts because the response can be very variable. But you can also react like that off the back of caffeine.
It was a good yes or no question that we got
Yeah,
a yes or no.
it was.
The answer is yes.
Yes, use it. So next time you're going to do a heavy squat, 20 Zins in the gums.
I've been looking like a gerbil.
Scabbers, no. That's Harry Potter.
Okay, second question. You go.
And the rat. Not a gerbil. Good boy.
10 years. Common garden rat. He's missing a toe, isn't he?
Like Pettigrew's missing a finger. Scabbers! No! That's the ADHD. Yeah, my second question for you, young Alex, is
Thank you for calling me young.
given that you have competed already,
Yes.
although this is applicable to you both, what's the one piece of advice, if you couldn't, ignoring any of the practicalities around, like the fact that we've got very complicated trading to do between now and then, what's the one piece of advice you'd want me to be given before my first comp?
Have fun.
Henry hated every single part of that.
Huh?
I'm not allowed to use the word. I want to respond to it.
What's the one piece of advice?
Yeah.
Well, John, can you be more specific?
I knew you were going to say that, and I
No.
knew that was going to be his response.
Why?
Because like taking part doesn't matter. You have to win.
What do you actually want to? What do you actually want to ask?
I'm curious as to what piece of advice you could impart onto me if you thought, right, there's just one thing that I'm going to say to this individual, take me out of the equation.
Maybe to make sure that he has the best performance that he does, regardless of the fun element. Because I think Henry is a pretty good he's going in with this with a pretty open mind.
I intend to hate every second.
Just to spite me.
In terms of how to compose yourself, how to execute well, what to be prepared for.
All of these are very good pieces of advice if you can give me them.
Well, I'll be handling you, not in a sexual way, but as a looking after you way. I think I think that comes down to how, obviously, we both want to put you in the best position for you to do well from a nutrition standpoint of what to eat on the day. So Hannah can potentially talk a bit about that because that is your thing. But from a training point of view, it's just see, having fun is such a big part of it. But yeah, it's just making sure you're in the right, you don't have, it's like not having to think about it, isn't it? It would be my job to take the thinking out.
Don't think about it.
As in, it's like, I would, my job on the day for you is so you can literally just focus
on. Your piece of advice would be don't think about it. Because you're going to take on that role.
Yeah.
That's useful.
I think it's
I think that is.
You will
wouldn't be sarcastic.
No, I know.
You will know beforehand what you're going to eat, when you're going to eat it. Hannah's going to cover the food you should pack, obviously stuff to get your carbs and everything, what drinks to have, stuff that's going to be easy to digest because there's chances are there's going to be some nerves. So stuff that you usually eat, you probably won't be able to eat because it's about stomach and stuff. So we're going to be your brain. So you can unga bunga and just basically you take care of the nutrition, I take care of helping you doing your warm-ups, telling you when you're going to be on, whatever. So literally your job is to go out and squat 3 times, go out and bench 3 times, and go out and deadlift 3 times. And other than making sure that, I don't know, you've gone to the toilet so you don't piss or shit yourself on the platform. I'm not your bladder, so I can't tell you to do that. Obviously, you're a big boy. You need to know when to go.
We hope so.
But
partway through this.
But other than that, it's just knowing that we will be taking care of that for you, so you can literally just unga bunga it and go out and do what you need to do. Because I know from my experience, for when I had you there, and one or two others, it was literally as I was warming up, it was you sorted the rack height out and everything. You were putting the weights on, so I tried to go down, do that, sit up, and you're like, right, okay, this weight, yeah. And then when it was food, it'd be like, right, have you eaten this? Have you okay? You've got this. You've been what have you been? Okay, cool. It was literally just so I could focus on doing what I needed to do. I think that's good. That's a good bit of advice.
No, I think that is.
In terms of like we just talked about the whole the inverted U, the arousal curve and everything. It's the other thing is just making sure you, because it depends person to person, isn't it? Knowing what you need to do to kind of get yourself in a position where you can be zen if you need to be zen. So whether that's making sure you've got headphones on you, whatever playlist it is to get you in that zone. But yeah, we should be taking care of all that. So basically, it's not thinking.
That's useful. I bring this up a lot now because increasingly I think it's a worthwhile skill to take on. There's a great clip from, I want to say it's Malcolm in the Middle, but I don't know that it's Malcolm in the Middle, and I get less and less confident of it the more I regale the story. But one of them gets taken off to military boot camp, and he's getting shouted at, and all of a sudden he goes from being the worst soldier in the world to the best. and the drill sergeant's like, "What happened?" It's like, I just stopped thinking. Everything that went wrong was because I was thinking. But if I just do as I'm told, it
Yes,
works.
I've seen
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I use that quite a lot to myself.
Honestly, yeah, no, we talk about this a lot in coaching and how we
We use
present show
different
up on social
words.
media and like, but like, oh yeah, we talk about like being incompetent swines basically, but having the confidence of one of those, because the more we think about the things that we do, we realize there's gaps we're missing, there's stuff we don't know, or there's, you know, we're not doing things to 100%, and you don't do any. Oh, it was a paralysis by analysis,
Basically,
and we do that a
just
lot to ourselves, which is just shooting ourselves in the foot.
think like a fucking idiot.
Because you see some really stupid people do really, really well, and credit to them because they don't even realize how stupid they sound. But because of that, they're so confident with what they're saying, and the message comes across. And I'm not saying what they're saying is bullshit, but like you will see some people preach a message, in our opinions, without a lot of context, that in our opinions is necessary, but they're doing what they need to do. They're successful in what they're doing. And, you know, don't
I
hate the
think
player, hate the game kind of thing. You
Even
know?
at a base level, removing that side, it's literally like, how many times have you just not done a video because you didn't feel like you had like, oh, I just don't think I'm good enough to do a video.
Mm.
It's like, remove like having the knowledge and everything. It's like, make the post, do the video,
Yeah.
do the thing, create this, do that. It's like, there's so many people out there that are just absolute smooth brains that will just do something because they're just, you know, amoebas. Whereas you just have to just be an amoeba.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten to Henry's questions yet from us.
Bloody hell. This is going to be the longest episode ever. Did you see how much time we're on?
We don't need to look at the sign.
You just crop it as you go.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Moving on to.
I generally, because I generally can't see, my eyes don't work.
We're probably heading up to 2 hours.
Woo! Woohoo!
Alex has got this thing where he likes to chase time. And he
No,
thinks that
don't.
longer podcasts are better.
No,
podcasts.
that's bullshit. I just want to know what time we're
But
on.
you're always trying to.
No, you're always on me like, no.
Because I can see you're waiting. You keep talking until you see it go over the hour mark, and then you're like, okay, now we can chill. And it's like we don't have to chase the hour.
I'm not
mark.
chasing time. All I'm saying is that yeah, okay. Let's
You
just
do
move on.
need to be able to monetize it, basically. A 6-hour podcast. Welcome to the Joe Rogan experience.
You listen to every single minute so we can get
We don't have to use all the content. We can crop things. We can remove things.
Absolutely. Alas, do you want to ask Henry your question?
You can go first. I'm stewing.
What, thinking on your question or
No,
being bitter about what I said?
being better, yes. I'm stewing. You can ask for it.
Okay, so Henry,
My people.
when we started working together, you had told me about how you tried dieting
Drugs.
phases before
Yes.
and weren't necessarily successful, or were successful and it tanked your performance. You couldn't seem to find that balance. Learning what you have done over the last 6 months, what would you say, what would you tell your younger self to do differently if there was almost like, I'm not going to say like one thing, or like, what do you think potentially was the biggest thing that was holding you back from seeing that progress in the first place?
I think my honest answer would be get a coach without it being
Do it sooner.
yeah, no, genuinely, because I think when I was at uni, I had effectively one summer where I went away at the end of our like varsity, which would have been like April, May time. I can't remember when exactly it is. I think it's April. And when I came back for pre-season, I'd lost 25 kilos, and that was from, I think I went from about 125 to about 100 in that time. And that was just by starving myself. There was no thought, no science, no whatever. And all the progress that I had made up to that point off my own, like, let's just give it a crack type vibe, all of it went. I was fitter because I was lighter, and I was running because of rugby. And so that carried over out of sheer dumb luck. But I had absolutely no baseline strength or even really beneficial muscle mass to me. And the same things that I've noticed with my training and with my dieting are that actually I don't really like being the person to have to make all those decisions about myself. I don't mind making other decisions about my own, like my life. So like financial stuff, for example, more than happy to delve into that myself. But I think there's something to be said for just accepting that what you're meant to be paying for with a coach is for somebody to do all the stuff that is necessary without you having to think. This is what you were saying, like, don't think of the day. That's the benefit to me. I enjoy doing it. I find it interesting learning around it. But I don't want to be the person who has to set out all of that about my health and fitness. And I suspect I'm not the only person who thinks that. I would strongly, strongly advise, even when you're at uni and money's like tight, I would prioritize that really highly, because I'd say that's very, very high on the list of where I'd rank value for money out of stuff that I pay for just on anything.
That's really good to know.
That's not sponsored either. That's not. I've
I
not been
didn't-
coerced in a break or a cut into saying that.
He had no idea what this question was going to be.
No. Yeah, I just think you get more value out of people who are experts telling you what to do than you trying to muddle along and work out yourself.
Hi.
Oh, my heart.
That's the nicest thing that I'll say tonight.
Oh.
Everything else is going to be hard.
And all it took was to hold you at gunpoint for you to say all of this.
Hey, you can put it down now, Alex.
Please let my wife go.
That's why
Lucy,
Lucy's
come
not
back
here.
Oh, no, I rate that answer. Obviously, biased, perhaps, but no.
Very good. Very best answer of the evening.
No, but it's the same. Like, I got even when I was at uni, like, I had a coach then, and a lot of people that wouldn't have been a necessary expense, but to me, it was worth its weight in gold, and it made me mentally progress a lot better, physically, obviously, progress a lot better, and as you say, it's nice to learn or know that what you're absorbing is true, providing you've got a good coach, of course, because, I guess there's that caveat. But then also you progress a lot quicker and it's less stressful, and you can put your time, energy, and therefore potentially make more money because you're putting that stuff into just places you're better at doing, It's like growing a business.
I just think there's no other line of, or very few other lines of work where a rational person walks into someone else's job and goes, I reckon I can do a better job of this on my own than you can. I rate the brash confidence of people who think that they can do that. But normally you should just trust somebody who is good at a particular thing to do that thing for you. If you're self-employed, it's probably better to have an accountant do your taxes than for you to do it yourself. They suck. Like, apply the same thing to your health and fitness.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's very true.
Yeah, that's a massive pet peeve.
What accounts?
Accountant.
Doing edits.
No.
Accountants or doing your accounts.
Because I'm bad with numbers.
Yeah, see, I do mine myself, but he doesn't.
I've done accounts before and it's horror.
Yeah.
It's really, well, I say that, it's not, at my stage, I don't think it's, I mean, I still fucking hate it, but it's,
actually,
it would be a lot more complicated as you scale bigger. Like, that's when it gets more.
I actually meant his overreaching point.
What, the accountants?
No. That wasn't the overreaching point, was it?
Sack you again, no. What?
Were you listening?
Yeah, it was, but what? No, carry on.
I don't think you were.
Elaborate your point.
We used to get this though. That's why I changed it from the only to one of the only, because we used to have people come in and be like, I've Googled this and I think that I've worked out what the answer is. And it's like, sorry, I forgot your Google search was worth more than my degree.
I even think I've memed it before, where it's like, it's the only thing I found. I suppose it's because the only space I've ever been in, but again, it's like, I've had people say, like, oh yeah, I could do this, do that, and I think I can. It's like, what other, like, you don't get into a car and become an F1 driver.
Exactly.
You don't fucking cook once and become a 2-star Michelin chef. Yeah, I've had people come up to me, like, not that in the same kind of different point, but kind of the same. It's like, they're like, oh, if I lift weights, I'm going to get too big. It's like, it doesn't happen by accident. It's the same thing with people thinking like, oh, I know better. It's like, you don't. Like, Google and Reddit, okay, cool. Like, if you know what you're looking for, you can ask the right questions, but and ChatGPT. But if you don't know what question to ask, the answer it spits out is going to be dog shit.
Yeah.
Because you've had the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, I Googled this. Like, oh, okay. I guess there's 3 years that I went and it was for fucking nothing. Then cheers, mate. You go and tell you what, you come and do it. I wouldn't dream of doing that in someone else's job.
But
it's crazy.
The thing that sucks is you might be able to work out some of it, and
yeah,
I got as far as, if I consume fewer calories, I'm going to end up losing weight eventually.
I was going to say, I think it's levels. It depends what you want, and the kind of level of result that you want is to how much you think you will be able to get by yourself. Because as you say, anyone can lose weight. Everybody knows the concept of losing weight. It just requires a calorie deficit. But then if you want to lose weight and retain muscle mass, that's different. If you want to lose weight, retain muscle mass, and improve performance, that's different again. If you want to lose weight, retain muscle mass, improve your performance and improve your relationship with food, that's different again. So it like depends how many of these things that you want to be able to achieve. It's just like you're going to have to invest a little bit more time, money, effort into finding out that kind of information. Yeah, anyway, go on, ask a question.
You can't unless it's written down.
Is it even? Did you write it down?
No.
Yeah, you can get the
He's
prop.
holding it as a prop.
It just makes me feel
The palms
more
are getting sweaty. Knees weak, arms are heavy.
Tell me I swear not already.
Mom's spaghetti.
He's in there.
CPC's calm and ready.
Absolutely keeps on.
Okay,
We wrote down the whole crap.
We could get
Okay.
the whole song in here. Really.
Yeah. My question to you is.
Good luck on the edit.
Bozo.
It's gonna be me. Are you done?
What was your biggest misconception about strength training? Like from when you got into it, looking outside, coming into it, because I think it would help people. Because there's a lot of misconceptions around strength training. You could even go as like niche down as powerlifting, but I think it'd be helpful to people to see what one there's misconceptions. I would actually, what did you say?
I was going to say that's hard, but then I know the answer to this because I was talking to somebody about it the other day.
Yep.
When we first started working together, I was astonished at how little work we needed to do to gain strength.
To gain strength.
Because when you said to me before about how you do, was it a squat or a deadlift pyramid where you go all the way up to whatever it was?
Oh, you mean when I first started training?
Yeah.
Oh, and I was just like a teenager being a fucking idiot.
And I remember.
Yeah, I died.
When I was going to the gym on my own, every single time it was like, if I was squatting, for example, it was like, what is the most amount of weight that I can squat?
Yeah.
And then can I do it for as many reps as possible? And then expecting that the next time I trained legs, which was often in the same week, even then I was doing it twice a week, to do better than that at the same weight.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was such a massive step back of, no, actually, you do need to recover. Like that blew my mind. And it really makes me laugh because I have to physically remind myself that I noticed that when I get partway through a session nowadays, I'm like, I want to die because it's just hard. But actually, in the grand scheme of things, yes, occasionally if we do something different or if I've done a particularly taxing max, I've got DOMs a couple of days later. But actually, by and large, I go from my upper day to my next upper day and my lower day to my next lower day, and I am actually ready to train because the overall load is so significantly lower than what I would have done out of intuition of just that. We've spoken before, Anna, about all or nothing type thing. That was my that was my inclination. Just go, right, okay, we'll just do as much as I can to absolute failure all the time. So probably my biggest misconception was you're probably doing too much, even in that beginner stage, to be able to actually make the meaningful progress you want to make.
And that's why a proper program matters, because you will distribute load and stuff throughout the week, meaning that's why we have heavy days and we have not lighter, but lighter days, or heavier days and technique focused days.
Yeah.
You're waving the load throughout the week because unfortunately, like when you're a beginner, like beginner, because you're because you're weak as piss, because the relative load is less, you can afford to kind of like throw the kitchen sink and get away with it because the 20 kilo bar for a set of 10 isn't going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
When you get stronger, you can't do that stupid shit because doing that stupid shit with 200 kilos on the squat is very different to doing it with 20. So actually having proper periodization and a program with blocks and whatever and different component matters, because as you get stronger, you have to be more intelligent about it, because waving that load throughout a week or a training cycle becomes that much more important so you don't fall apart. And I think that's a lot, again, like it's a common misconception when you speak to people is that they go like, yes, I basically just go fucking mental 4 times a week. And it's like, I'm not getting any better. It's like, no, of course you're not. Why would you? There's no like rhyme or reason to what you're doing. It's just throw the kitchen sink at it and hope that you get better somehow by magic.
And knowing the things that you can do more or less on as well. Like this is really obvious to me now, but it would never have occurred to me that I could effectively just train my arms pretty much to failure every time I did it. And that would have a materially very different impact on my ability to train again the next time I need to train arms, compared to if I did that every time I did squats or every time I did deadlifts.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that certain muscle groups recover better and faster than others. But that would just never have occurred to me as
Yeah.
a complete beginner.
Yeah, so as the old phrase goes, more is not always better.
Better is better. I say that to people a lot.
Which I also hate because it's so vague. And more like,
What?
well, then what does better mean? But yeah, that's how
Better
you
means not being a
drop us a
fucking
message and
idiot.
find out. One-to-one links in the bio.
I feel left out that I didn't also join in with better is better there. I feel like that would have been a really nice clip.
Yeah. And good. No, but I think to wrap all of that up, we have one final question for you, Henry.
Ooh.
And
read it?
that is,
What? Can you read my writing?
if I can read your handwriting.
I'll read it.
No, I can do it. I can do
Scouter,
this.
forearm, bird.
Read snake, son.
Having experienced what you've experienced now, what is your biggest piece of advice for someone starting their own journey? And this can kind of be a bit of an overarching thing if you want. It can be specific if you want.
It's not one singular piece of advice. It's be patient, hire a coach, and actually train hard.
Ooh,
that's probably it.
That's solid.
I like
solid
it.
advice. And not because we're biased. We picked the right client to interview here.
Yeah. You're saying all the right things. Good.
Still need my bank details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now
We'll transfer that money.
For reference, Lucy is his wife, just in case we hadn't mentioned that and you're thinking, who the fuck's Lucy?
I've been cuffed.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Shucks.
Sorry to disappoint, guys. Okay. Anything else to add, or are we good to wrap that up? Don't do drugs, kids.
No,
That's what he's gonna say.
I wasn't gonna say that.
What are you gonna say?
He was going to do what he did just when we started the podcast first attempt, and
No.
crying.
Don't you think in Avatar, do you like Avatar, the first film?
Terrible films.
Yeah, well, fuck off.
When it first came out, I liked the first one.
Unobtainium.
Yes. So the only thing I think about, don't you think it's such a cop-out to call the rare mineral that you're there for that's hard to get unobtainium?
You know what? I'd never thought about it until you brought this up.
He's like, where did you get unobtainium? It's like, okay, dude, come on.
Even like, we cannot obtain.
Yeah, well, it's hard to. I just always thought that was a bit annoying. Like, come up with a better word for your mineral.
Maybe the staff just weren't getting paid enough. That's all we can assume. But thank you very much for listening.
James Cameron?
Yeah.
If you have any more thoughts, feelings, questions, opinions, did the Wi-Fi just go? No,
my lights just automatically decided to turn off. Oh,
perfect timing though, because we're now just about to wrap it up. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and
Tie your dog.
Yeah. Goodbye.